I feel like if I was disconnected from that or disconnected from my body, I would be more disconnected from everybody else too. So knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, balancing the two. But yeah, that heart, that's really going to show if you're balanced or not. Because if your heart ain't right, you might got some work to do.
What's good? It's not easy. You're now tuned into the Nodcast, where I'll be interviewing different artists from different mediums. Today, I'm joined by someone who doesn't just play music, she also creates different spaces. A DC native with a gift for turning sound into connection, her energy is like the rhythm of the city itself. Healing, vibrant, and alive, she's spun in spaces from the heart of the DMV to Apple's Carnegie Hall, but she always stays grounded to her roots. Connected to nature and culture, Trilla doesn't just move the room, she moves your spirit. Let's welcome the incredible, soulful Trilla Kay.
Wow. Thank you for the fabulous introduction. That was beautiful.
No doubt. So Trilla, today's Friday the 13th.
It is.
What do you think of that date?
I think it's another day, for real. Yeah.
At the end of the day?
At the end of the day, the day gonna end. So that's how I'm feeling.
I always felt like Friday the 13th was superstitious, though.
Yeah.
There's significance to the date.
I think so, like culturally, absolutely. For me, ain't no spooky shit ever really happened on the 13th. So, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, from what I've always gathered from you specifically, I can tell that your energy can be feline. Very connected to cats. And do you like cats at all?
You must know me or something.
I mean, I've known you for a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm very much a cat person, cat lady, feline energy. Some of my friends used to call me Kitty. So no, that energy is very prominent, and just how I carry myself, the different things. Yeah.
Okay. That's why I brought up the whole Friday the 13th thing, because a lot of people would say black cats are bad luck.
So maybe that's why the date don't really affect me, because I might be the black cat.
That's a bar right there.
Yeah.
Snap, snap. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, Trilla Kay. For the people who don't know that are listening and watching this, what could you say is a good introduction?
Just a girl from Northeast DC, born and raised here. Definitely feel like this city, the DMV, has raised me. I would consider like I've always been an artist. My first medium was poetry. I used to write a lot of poetry to like transmute my feelings. And I've been pretty much singing since like elementary school. So
Wow.
Also a singer. I just started DJing like 2019. So that's my most recent thing, but it's been very, very successful. Artists are a lot of mediums, but I definitely feel like the sonics is very heavy for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So music is like your passion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
1,000%.
Okay. So the poetry, like how did you start doing that?
It just happened. It wasn't even like really just a start thing. It just kind of like was a natural way for me to express myself. I'm a very like write things down person. Mm-hmm. So just getting my thoughts in my head onto like paper or just outside of my head into the physical is something that's like been kind of that step one in my creative process.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And from poetry, did that lead you into like writing lyrics or songs?
Yup.
Usually that's how it starts.
Yes, that's exactly how it starts. I don't really like produce too much, but I've dabbled in the years, especially since I've been DJing. But yeah, writing those poems definitely started like my songwriting journey. And still to this day, like I'll write a poem and then turn into a song. I have an unreleased joint that I perform all the time, Grab It in Lavender. Wrote it, poem, put it on a beat, bow, bow, bow.
Dope. And was that singing or rapping?
That was rapping. So I wouldn't consider myself a rapper, but I'd be rapping.
I would say I'm in the same boat. Like I'm definitely not a rapper, but I can rap.
Yeah.
And so singing, like naturally singing, did you just start doing that out of the blue or did you like have any?
I was in the choir in church, y'all. Shout out First Baptist Church of Glenarden.
Choir singer.
Okay.
Amen.
I was on a gospel go-go band back in the day. Like,
were you like the lead singer?
I was like, it was like a group of us, but we was on a. So no, I would like church, y'all. Church got me singing and I've been singing ever since.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Are you still doing gospel?
No, but a lot of my music is very spiritually charged and inspired, like my song God Body. So, and I would like maybe like a neo soul gospel vibe, maybe. Yeah, okay. I would say that.
Okay. Did you ever have like any vocal training or?
Yeah, in high school, I was actually in chorus and I definitely took vocal lessons for like a year or two at UMD. Okay. I was in high school, so that just like I feel like helped a lot. So now I don't really practice it as much, but that's definitely been like a core development for me.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So when I was first introduced to music production, it was actually through church too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started out playing electric bass guitar in church, and I really like the instrumentation that they have in church because they take all the scales and start to do crazy things with it, and they also do a lot of harmonies. So could you tell me like how gospel music has influenced your singing or your artistic style at all?
Yeah, like 1,000%. I feel like it's influenced like my lyricism. Like even though I wouldn't consider myself like a gospel artist, like I do believe music is a very spiritual thing, and like the message that you are sharing is powerful. So to this day, like I write music about my spirituality, and as well with just like I feel like it's allowed me to like play with music a lot more too, and I kind of explore a lot of different like sounds because being in choir at a Black church, y'all got the soprano 1, soprano 2, alto, tenor, like all of that. So I really like harmonies and stacking like vocals and things like that.
Okay, so when you were making the song God Body, and by the way guys, God Body is what, your first release?
Yeah, it's my first like single.
Yeah, that joint is crazy.
Tap in. And I dropped a video this year in April, so check it out on YouTube.
Which I was also in the video for.
Yes, absolutely. At the party.
But yeah, what I was asking was like when you were creating God Body, like what was the process for that? Like what were you going through? Like what was your mindset?
I love this question. Wow. So I created God Body like sitting outside on the balcony at the crib during the beginning of the pandemic. I think it was 2020, like springtime, maybe like April-ish. And I was just like sitting on a balcony outside, had my laptop out, had Ableton, had a beat, and just started recording. Like I was like writing as I was recording, so I didn't pre-write the song, and just really taking in like the nature outside because I recorded it outside. And yeah, that was a very personal process for me. Like I recorded the song myself and then had a friend engineer it afterwards. I was in nature, just translating what I was feeling.
So as far as like nature, when it comes to creating in different spaces, do you think that has an influence on how you create your music?
Yeah. I feel like that's my favorite place to create. Being indoors, being in the studio is cool, but I do appreciate being able to like record myself outside and have the tools to be able to do that. And I feel like I get most of my inspiration in nature, very like grounded person, big earth sign. So I go to nature whenever I need to ground myself.
So for the DJing journey, because I think that was the most recent journey that I was introduced to you from, what led you into that?
I love this too. Everything has like
Chapters.
different. So with DJing, my like corporate job, I manage at music venue 930 Club. But at the time, I was just like working door staff there, not really sure what I wanted to do with my life, but I loved music. So I was working in the music environment. I also like did little one-off production gigs. So I did a production gig in LA, and I was in LA at the time working for a Puma gig, and they had booked all women DJs for like the whole weekend. And I was like, this is the coolest shit ever. Like I've never seen like a weekend full of just women DJing. And I was so inspired. I was like, DMV don't really have that many girlies that DJ. Came back, hit up my friends that knew how to use a DJ controller, asked them to teach me, and it was up from there. It was very like intuition based, like fuck it, I'm gonna do it vibe. And it's been going crazy. I got booked before I really knew what I was doing, but it forced me to learn. So
that's what's up.
Yeah.
One thing I have to say about the DMV, we have the best DJs in the world.
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about women, men, but women specifically, I've seen some of the best DJing performances come from the women. Shout out to Bree Mafia, Trilla Kay. Shout out to DJ Damo, everybody else.
Shout out to all the ladies. Bass, Not For Real, Tyra the Zombie. Love all y'all. Filet, all y'all.
So you mentioned spirituality earlier. I imagine that DJing is one way of reading energy, right? So how do you read the energy on the dance floor when you're DJing?
So I do not plan most of my sets. The furthest I go with planning is just like updating my library, downloading new music, picking some hot songs that I want to hit that night. But other than that, it's strictly intuitive sets. And yeah, I just kind of feel, I don't know how to describe it, but reading the room is like an energetic reading and just feeling the crowd. And like, I feel like that's what makes me a good DJ. It's because I'm able to tap into my intuition. I feel like if I was disconnected from that or disconnected from my body, I would be more disconnected from everybody else too.
So. What do you think about people who are doing like pre-mixes, pre-recorded?
That's not my vibe, but if it works for you, get your money on, get your coin.
So I don't support it too, by the way. But one thing I do support is technology, right?
Yes.
And we talked about AI in a couple of different episodes. So what's your take on AI? How do you think it's going to affect your practice as a DJ?
That's a good question. I would say, like, as far as AI and me DJing, like, I will use it to help with like song discovery, like Spotify. I like their little DJ AI feature. I don't really use it that much when it comes to my personal creative process, but maybe like inspiration wise, I definitely feel like AI is useful just to get the ideas rolling, get the ball rolling. But I haven't really incorporated that into my creative process yet. And I don't know if that's something that I want to do. But yeah.
Do you think that AI eventually is going to cause DJing to become something that's less human oriented and more automated?
I do feel like there are like so many DJs now because it's way more accessible. Like there's different controllers at different price points. So like anybody can like buy a starter controller and start DJing in the crib. Like people be on TikTok doing that shit from the bed all the time.
Yeah.
So I do feel like technology will make things more accessible, but I don't think that it'll deplete anything that humans go crazy at creating. Like with music, even like the AI Drake and all of that, like that's cool, but I feel like we're so original and our ideas are so unique that there will always be space for us.
That's a dope answer. Yeah. I like it. Snap, snap. So you said it's more of an intuitive thing when you like tap into the energy of the crowd. How does that shape your artistry? Do you usually like read something before you like make your music? Do you tap into like the energy that you feel or the environment? How does that work?
It's such a simple answer. I just be breathing. And when I find myself not breathing, I remind myself to breathe.
Okay.
And that has been helping so much just to like breathe through it all. I used to be like a very, very, very anxious person. I still like be having anxiety and shit, but I don't let it affect me. But I used to like let that shit affect me. So now I, face the fear, face the anxiety. I know I'm gonna be nervous sometimes, but like that's okay. Just breathe through it. And that's how I get through pretty much anything.
I like that answer as well. So like our nervous system literally affects everything we do. And breath control is so important when you think about it. Like it can impact everything from swimming to singing, everything. So I'm glad that you brought that up. But as far as breath control when it comes to singing, do you think that's like something that people still focus on, or is that like something that people should not focus on as much because of AI, like auto-tune and stuff like that? I
think that that's absolutely what we should lock in on because like everything is through the breath. Like the breath is life for real. Me personally, because like I feel like I have a background in singing, like I usually speak through like my diaphragm, like say that shit with my chest. So yeah, like if you have your breath, you more powerful than a computer. Get active.
That's what I'd like to support too, because like I think more often than not, people are constantly using auto-tune, using pitch correction, and they don't really like. That's why I feel like today's music landscape isn't as good as the previous one.
Yeah, they be relying on the technology a little too heavy,
a little too much, right?
And I can't really feel what you're trying to tell me. Like pitching it up 1,000 keys, I guess that's cute for TikTok, but
it could work in specific scenarios. Like if you're trying to achieve a certain sound.
I'm born in '94. I'm them real singers, like
the Anita Bakers.
Yes.
Yeah. R&B. Like all that. So neo soul is what you said earlier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Singing is so profound in neo soul. D'Angelo, Erykah Badu, are those some of your influences?
1,000%, yes.
1,000%. What do you like about those artists the most?
Like they be singing about like real life, like the feelings, like, and then like the messages, like she could feel that shit. Like JT cool, like okay, but like tell me how you feel. Like tell me how you fell in love and then fell out of love and then you found God and then a bird flew past your window. Like I don't know. I like that type of stuff.
Do you have like any specific favorite artists from that era or just anybody?
Not really specific Favorite artists, like you said, like the D'Angelos, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill. I love my gospel artists. Kirk Franklin, it's my guy. I be cranking that in the club sometimes on my DJ sets.
Melodies from Heaven.
Yeah, Melodies from Heaven, Marvin Sapp, like gospel artists, neo soul artists, R&B. Yeah.
Or
Kim, Love Calls. Let Us See All Right. Crazy.
That's a deep cut. I like that one.
Deep cuts.
So going into your next projects, do you plan to use that sound?
I plan to I definitely plan to kind of mix my influences into like a more like Afro-futuristic sound. Definitely just combining the two. So EP coming soon, but it's definitely gonna give like neo soul and Afro-futurism.
Okay, and when can we expect that to drop?
Time isn't real. It's gonna drop when it's ready to drop, but sooner than later, you know?
Okay. We're definitely plan to add some production to that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you on there, so.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So in a world that's constantly moving and where time isn't real, how do you stay centered? You mentioned breath work earlier.
Yes, I think breath work and just like having healthy rituals, like going to the parks and meditate. I've been doing yoga for like 8 years now. And yoga has saved my life because it's taught me how to just move through it and breathe through it. And I definitely think like my rituals help contribute to my capacity to be able to do so much. And if I weren't to do those things, like it's interconnected to my creative process.
Yeah. Word. So yoga, like what led you into that? How did you get introduced to it?
So I first started doing yoga in college. Shout out Towson. They were offering like on campus, like free yoga class twice a week or whatever. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Like I want to try that. So I started doing it then. And then I've been practicing on my own ever since. I'll go to group classes here and there. And I just started guiding my own yoga sessions. I've done 2 so far. I have a 3rd one coming up on October 6th. So definitely transitioning into that teacher aspect now. And yeah, yoga is lit.
So you're going to be a teacher soon, a yogi?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Is there like certifications for that?
Yeah, so technically like you don't have to be certified, but if you want to like work for somewhere, you should have a certification. And I know I want to be certified just because I'm not going to teach somebody something that I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I want to specifically like go into the path of Kemetic yoga.
Okay.
But I practice all forms of yoga.
Kemetic yoga. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, Kemetic yoga is like has roots in ancient Kemet or Egypt, and it's African-based yoga, and it actually predates Indian-based yoga. And I just feel like it is more relevant and centered around the Black experience, and that's something that I want to promote and teach. So that's the journey or the path of yoga that I feel I'd want to study, more and teach.
Absolutely. That's really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kemetic yoga, I've never heard about that. That's the first time I heard about it. I need to tap in.
I have a class and I'll invite you.
So for people that don't know, ancient Kemet is actually like the land of Blackness. That's modern day Egypt. And I've never been, but I plan to go.
Plan to go too.
Do you have any plans to go? You have plans to go as well?
Yeah. On the books, absolutely on the books. And Kemetic yoga is also more accessible too, especially to people who have disabilities. It's more meditation based and focused on slower movements, and it's less about the acrobatics and more about going into deep meditation.
Okay, for like mindfulness. Okay, yeah, meditation is needed in the Western world. I believe it's way more.
Yeah,
we need it in elementary schools and all kinds of like hospitals. Places like that.
Absolutely. Find your center. The world is full of so much chaos that you have to have that center and know how to find it.
Yeah. So going into the music again, let's talk about that. Do you have anybody that you want to work with specifically in the DMV or outside of it?
Everybody. Oh my God, everybody's so talented.
There's a lot of people in the DMV who are coming up right now.
I really do want to work with everybody. Like, I want to focus on a lot of features before like I drop a full project. Hence why I'm trying to collab with you. But I definitely want to collab with a lot of producers and rappers and singers. I just recently collab with rapper Payday on the Way, Mark Bravo, Asa T Weeks, Forrest, and KP, not KP Skywalker, KP Koala.
Okay.
And yeah, I just dropped a song with like 4 other artists. So I want to do more stuff like that. I'm big on some collaboration shit right now. So producers, artists, hit me up. I'll do a feature for you.
What about outside the DMV?
Outside of the DMV, honestly, I ain't even too pressed for real. I fuck with the DMV so heavy. I'm just trying to get all my community folk out the way first, and then we can talk about everybody else.
What do you think about the future of the DMV? I mean, I see it going in many different directions. I see people usually making a plan to leave the DMV and go elsewhere to try to make their name.
Yeah.
So what do you think that's going to look like for us?
I was going to be one of those people. I ain't even going to hold y'all.
Really?
But like I went to Towson for college, which is Baltimore's right up the street. And I was just recently living in Baltimore for the past few years. And I just moved back to DC. But DC has transformed so much like in the past 10, 15 years that I feel like the possibilities are endless, but I definitely do think it takes people to stay and, you know, see that and create that vision for it there really to be a future. Like, we can't just keep exporting our talent. And I don't know, but then I know a lot of people who coming back home. So I feel like it's a very transient space right now. Yeah. I got a lot of friends who not even from here, who they love the DMV and like they see the charm, but a lot of people that's from here don't really see that same charm. So it just takes enough people to see the vision before it's there and, you know, co-create it. I be co-creating with a lot of my peers. And if you want something, like, it's available to you. You just got to find your tribe, find your people. But I think the future is bright.
I love that answer. Yeah, because most people will be like, oh, it's a crabs in the barrel mentality.
I mean, yeah.
We're all fighting amongst each other to get to the top.
But if I don't like a narrative, I'm going to change it and I'm going to create a new narrative that I will like. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm not no crab. Are you a crab?
No, I like crabs, though.
I like crabs, too.
Yeah.
I eat crabs.
They're really good. But yeah, for the people that's having that mentality, I think it just takes you shifting your perspective and realizing that, like she said, just find your tribe, find like-minded people, and you'll be on your way.
Period. And there's a lot of different tribes around here, y'all.
Right. That's a beautiful thing about it. You get so many different subcultures, different types of music. Something for everybody.
And just to speak on that too, I really love the diversity within, like, I'm going to just speak for Black people because we some Black people. But I really like the diversity just within our culture alone. Like, it's not a monoculture. Like,
right.
Black people aren't one thing and we are, it's like just so many varieties. Like, I love that. And I feel like the DMV has a lot of that and we should definitely celebrate that.
Okay. So for the Black people that are in the DMV, are you planning on creating more Black spaces or Black experiences for them? And how do you plan to do so?
Definitely. So like one of my goals, I've been working in the live venue space for a minute and I've been managing live venues for like the past 3 or 4 years. I'm currently like manage 3 venues in DC. Not gonna name drop because that's my corporate job. Love y'all. But I definitely, one of my major goals is to create more spaces, more third places for our people to go to. I feel like the kids don't got nowhere to go. That's why they crashing out.
Big facts.
So yeah, that's one big goal for me is to create more physical space for us to commune with each other, create, share our talents, all that.
I think that's part of the reason why people are leaving too, because there's more infrastructure in places like Atlanta, LA. They got all the music labels and stuff over there. But even now, I think like the labels, they're not the same. They're just kind of banks. You go to them for money. There's no creative control. Do you think that independent artists are the ones who have more leverage now?
1,000%.
Okay.
Yeah. I vote independent. Like you got to do the work. It's not a whole bunch of flashy facade shit, but I definitely think that independent is the best way to go. I mean, if you want to be the one in a million to sign a deal, great, but be prepared for that journey. But there's 1,000% possible way for just do it your own, build your tribe.
Yeah.
seen hella people do it. Currency, I feel like he the blueprint.
Absolutely.
Like Brent Fayez, another blueprint.
Shout
I've
out
been
Brent.
able to work with people in their team and really just like know firsthand how they do things. And yeah, it's 1,000% the way. Build your own team. Fuck these major labels. Yeah.
Fuck these major labels. She got the Black Air Force energy right now.
I'm not trying to get signed.
Word to Kendrick Lamar.
Like, yeah, unless you got a distribution deal for me. Yeah.
Wow. Well, she said it on record, yo.
Y'all heard it here first.
Speaking of Kendrick Lamar, what'd you think about the beef with him and Drake?
I think Kendrick did what needed to be done.
Okay. Explain.
And he packed that man up. I don't know. Kendrick, to me, he's like a prophet for real. Like, he just be spitting the truth and he delivers it in a very easily digestible way. And yeah, he did that. I ain't got nothing to say. Kendrick, if you see this, I fuck with you.
So he recently dropped this, I think it was Untitled, but it's something like The Party Died. Mm-hmm. Did you listen to that?
I fuck with you, Kendrick, but I ain't listen to that.
Oh, damn. Okay, well.
I'm going to listen after this, though, and I'm going to let you know. I'm going to shoot you a message.
Okay, fair enough.
So I don't really be listening to things when they come out. It takes me a really long time, and then I'll like get around to it.
Right.
And I think that's also like kind of weird because I'm a DJ and I probably should be doing that.
Right.
But I
listen.
don't like how like quick things get fed to us. And I'm gonna consume it when I'm ready to consume it. And I just don't be ready sometimes.
You know, the culture is just a little bit too fast.
Every Friday it's a new project. Like, switch it up.
Yeah, we can't do the fast food culture now. Like, it's overwhelming. But in context of the beef, I think it was definitely important without giving too much away.
Give it away.
He basically just said fuck the entire industry. Like, he was going in on the culture, and he like did it in a very lyrical way. So
I need to tap in then because I feel like I have the same sentiments, or I might have the same sentiment.
I think, as you said earlier, like he's a prophet, and what he's saying is prophetic. Because after the beef, I noticed that whenever I listen to Drake, it doesn't sound the same. Like, I don't get the same feeling I got before. You know, like a lot of people.
That's crazy. Same.
like a lot of people like used to just be begging for Drake to be played at every event, and now it's just like,
tell me about it.
Turn that shit off, you know. But
if you request Drake and I'm spinning, walk away.
All love to Drake, but it's like we gotta do something about that, because I personally, what I would say is he should drop a 444 album. This is just me speaking as a prophet myself. Like, he should drop something that's more mature and win people's hearts back. Because,
but is he mature?
I don't think he is yet. And I think that's why Kendrick sunned him. But yeah, change the topic. So
not Drake catching the straight.
Yeah, because we're going too deep into that. Let me see if I can find more questions.
I love it.
You spun at Apple's Carnegie Hall. Do you have any other plans to spin anywhere else right now? Or have you crossed out every other venue on your list?
I don't really make plans. Well, I do, but just great venues in like New Orleans, Atlanta. So I feel like I've done a lot of bucket list things and definitely would like to get my feet outside of the U.S. next.
Okay. And what particular places outside the U.S.? You say Costa Rica, but
yeah, definitely there. UK. I'm trying to get my London ting. Trying to go.
Shout out to UK.
Shout out to UK. I'm trying to go to Ghana. I'm trying to go to Nigeria.
Yeah. Ghana would be a vibe.
Yeah. Trying to hit Japan.
Japan would be a vibe.
Yeah, outside is what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Got my passport ready.
DJ World Tour coming up. Anything else like outside of DJing that you're focusing on? Like you said, a yogi, but are you looking into anything else? Any other ventures?
Yeah, my most recent venture is just transitioning into this yoga teacher journey.
You could probably do something cool with that too. Like you said like you want to do a DJ tour and like you're training to be a yogi, you do like a retreat.
That would be fun.
And a DJ kind of experience all in one. That'd be dope.
Okay, period. Ideas. But yeah, I would say like moving into the future, I definitely want to make all of those things more cohesive. Definitely create more music and just have the yoga thing kind of flow with the music. I don't know how that's gonna look right now, but I like for all of my parts of life to kind of connect to each other and influence each other. So that's the plan. Still figuring it out though.
Okay, cool. And do you plan to work with anybody else, collaborate with anybody else on that?
I definitely want to collab with like other yogis on things. I just came up with this idea, so it's on the spot. But a wellness festival be super fire to like take that on the road or just have that as like an annual thing or whatever. I think that would be super fire. Our people need wellness more than anything.
I thought that Broccoli City did something like that.
Yeah, they do. But I'm trying to do more.
Okay. More so focused on the wellness.
Yeah, more so focused on the wellness.
I got you. Okay. And like what aspects of wellness are we talking about?
Outside of the yoga, get some Tai Chi in there. Shout out Autumn Labella. Just mental health resources. People be going through it, y'all. So yeah, just like more so your physical well-being, your mental well-being. And then we could have the art, the music, all that, because that's a part of that too. But yeah, mental and physical health for sure.
As an artist and a DJ, how do you usually handle your mental health?
I be going through it sometime, but I just allow myself to feel the feels, to like be graceful with life, because life be just violent sometimes. But just being grateful and allowing myself to feel and learn from my experiences. If it's crazy, y'all gonna hear about it in a song. And yeah.
The best place to usually put is in the song. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to crash out.
Nah, for real. I'm not trying to crash out.
What other topics are you planning to talk about in your next project? You speak on wellness, mental health, anything else outside of that, like topics that we could expect?
I've been real focused and really like craving like community building. So like more so like futuristic stuff like community building, generational wealth, like just like visualizing how I see the future, how I share that space with the people around me. So yes, talking about life experiences and past experiences, but also visualizing like a new future and a bright future.
Okay, I like it. Sounds prophetic too to me.
Period. Shout out Kendrick.
Prophets in the building, bro. Spirit of Kendrick Lamar is in here right now.
In the room.
He's moving.
Yo. What you got coming up? What you got in the works? Let's talk about this podcast right
now
here.
I'm being interviewed.
Yeah, let's switch it up.
All right, so we often talk about technology and its influence on art and culture. How do you plan to use technology, or at least approach technology with DJing in the future? Do you want to like use more tools? Do you want to be more immersive? What's your vision for that?
As far as tools and technology, I really want to kind of like downsize my setup so that I can be more mobile and be in a position to kind of hop on a plane and go across the country if I need to. Being on tour with my fat ass 40-pound controller, bruh. It was, I'm grateful for the opportunity, but I really love that, all these new cool things are coming out, and I definitely want to explore a more like compact setup with that and that process. And then regarding like just making music and creating, I kind of want to learn a little bit more about production because I feel like it'll help translate my ideas a little bit better. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Because
do you plan to do like live production, blend it into DJing? Or?
Yeah, and actually, with the performances too, because I be DJing my own performance set sometimes, and then I got this like little vocoder microphone thing. And I definitely want to start incorporating that into my live sets.
Okay, Daft Punk, I see you.
Yeah, just kind of like playing with that type of live instrumentation. So yeah, just using a lot of different tunes to translate different sounds.
So somebody that's trying to get into DJing, what advice would you give them?
I would suggest first, your software really fucking matters. Serato or Rekordbox, I highly recommend. Learn the software first and then get you a controller, learn the controller, and then you can dive in with, practicing all the tricks and fine-tuning your ear and your transitions. But I don't think that just jumping into it and buying a controller and just because you have great music taste will be the best learning curve. I really big on knowing the technology that you're using. So get familiar with it, find something that works for you and know what you want first. Like if you want to DJ at live venues or clubs, if you want to work on CDJs, if you want to work on controllers. So really like find out what you want to do, what lane, what pocket you want to get in, and learn that software. Get on YouTube University, look at these DJs teaching it. You can find something or call a friend. But learn. Like it's not just about having a good ear and like knowing what songs to play.
Oh, I like that. Also, I recently saw this TikTok where a dude was saying like everybody's a DJ now because they see that that's like the cool thing to do, I guess. So do you think that's also the case, or do you believe that everybody can share that space?
I believe so. And I feel like I myself, like I've inspired a lot of people to start DJing. There's bad people who've started DJing after like I've chatted with them and gave them advice, but I'm very big on like there's space for everyone. So I don't think that takes away from me and what I'm doing. And if somebody want to hit me up and ask how to DJ or ask for some tips, I got you. I'm not about to gatekeep. But yeah, I definitely do feel like it's a lot more, but that's just because it's more accessible. Like anybody can download Ableton, Pro Tools, Logic, and start rapping. Everybody a rapper now. Everybody a DJ. So
we do need more electricians though, and plumbers. So,
we do. Y'all,
why can't we
like do that
have those
and pick a trade? Do that and go to school.
Okay.
Like you got to get
So
the money somewhere else too. Like I have a job. Luckily, my job is in the music industry. But like, don't just try to be a starving artist out here. Like have a plan and get your money right so you can really create the type of stuff that you want to create.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
And for your social media presence, do you plan to like focus on that more as a DJ, or are you just trying to be more like an in-person experience?
I hate social media.
Why do you hate social media?
It be giving me anxiety sometimes. It be getting a little overwhelmed. But I got a few followers. And I be posting stuff. But
yeah, I mean, you tend to be active on social media, so I'm wondering why.
I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't be answering my DMs. So don't DM me. But I got my email, my bio. If you try and really like work, we could lock in. But yeah, I just be posting like all my creative endeavors on social media. Like that's where that goes to like be a historical record. Yeah, I did that. So
you're using it like more as like to document what you're
more of a documenting of like what I got going on, like how we can connect outside, but I definitely use social media as a tool to connect in real life.
Okay. Yeah, because most people nowadays, they're focused on the presence that they can get from social media, virality, trending, those kind of things.
My eyes, y'all, it's tired. I'm not finna be staring at screens all day. I post what I got post, like everybody picks, do a little quick swipe, show some love, drop some comments, but you can catch me outside.
I like that. And I think DJing is going to help more people come outside anyway.
Absolutely. They be coming out.
So we like to inspire listeners to step out their comfort zones, and I like to like create experiences that make it more interactive. Is there anything that you want to do to make your experience as a DJ more interactive?
I mean, don't be shy to come up to me. Just don't ask me for a song request. But I've been like doing a few like live DJ sets recently. Shout out Black Girl Mental Health based in Delaware. They booked me for some live like DJ sets and engagements. I definitely want to like maybe coordinate some open deck DJ nights where like people can pull up, spin. If you don't know how to spin, come learn some things, trade music. So yeah, definitely looking on building some more community building activities in that world and ways for us to share knowledge and resources.
Word. Okay. Any other questions, or you want to wrap it up here?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Outside of like music, and I know the podcast is new, but like, what are your other like creative endeavors or ways that you kind of like share your uniqueness with the world?
Word. That's a good question. So just like you, I'm into like mindfulness. I don't necessarily practice yoga, but I do meditate a lot. And so I focus on keeping my mind centered on my imagination, actually. Like things that are active in my imagination, I try to bring it into reality. And I'll do that through different talents and gifts that I have. So one of them would be like music. Another thing would be technology, because I've always been into technology. And I try to blend those things together and create an experience for people. Like one of the things that I most recently made was this app. It's kind of like Clubhouse, but it's more like intimate. And
wait, you make an app?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not public, but yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, I try to create this app to try to like get more people to get involved in community, share their work, come up with ideas, things like that. Because one thing I think about this generation is what is really copy and paste. A lot of people don't trust their own ideas. Mm-hmm. And so...
Or they try to like, they don't trust it, especially if somebody else doesn't validate it.
Yeah.
But you got to validate yourself.
Exactly. And so I try to like get people to incentivize people to try to like open up on whatever they want to share.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm glad I asked that.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you.
All right. So we're here in part 2 of the Nodcast, and I'm with Trilla Kay. We're at the gardens right now.
Yes, we are. We are at Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens.
Okay. Tell me what brings you to this garden. Like, why do you like this place so much?
I love this place. It's a good balance with nature, water, earth, and yeah, anywhere I can be near some water and some plants, it's lit.
Okay. And you're an earth sign, correct?
I am.
Okay.
Big Taurus.
Do you think that means you have a connection to nature?
Yeah. Like for me, grounding is really important, especially if I'm feeling off-centered. So I feel like that's definitely my connection with my earth sign. Is just going into nature when I feel disconnected or feel off-center. Nature always brings me back. Putting my feet in the ground always gets me right.
Okay. And so you have some tools here with you today.
Yes.
You have the singing bowl.
Yes.
And then you also have the rain stick.
I do. I have my heart chakra sound bowl with me. I'll do a quick little...
And so which chakra is this?
This is for the heart chakra.
Okay. And what is this tone?
And this tone is just the natural frequency of what your heart chakra is. So it just helps tune and open up your heart center. It's a great meditation for that. And then my other tool that I have with me is my rain stick. And I use this a lot in my meditations for sound healing. Mm. And this is just kind of like an all-over energetic bath. That's really good to cleanse your energy.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the bowls for frequency tuning and the bells for just cleansing.
So are these tools necessary, or are they more of just things that you use to assist you? I
feel like they are an assist and an aid, but all you really need is your breath.
And why is that?
Because that's how we came in the world and that's how we go out. And yep, that's all you need. Anything else is just a tool and a resource.
I can agree with that. I'm an air sign, so I know how important air is.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely something that's essential to our lives.
Yeah. More people got to tap in. My moon sign is air. Libra's air sign.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm a Libra moon, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Libra sun, Libra moon.
Love that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
No wonder we connect so well.
The math is mathing.
Yeah. So you also have your journal here.
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell me about how much writing so you don't actually write in there, right?
I do, but if I don't, well, I do. Okay. But if I do, I cover it up with art. And that's just because I'm a very I think in words. Music that I do are very wordy related. So this is just a medium to kind of visualize things a bit better and express myself through a different medium. And I feel like music is my go-to art form. So just branching out into other areas of art and how I can express myself.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And why do you think that using images or different aspects of art helps with that as opposed to words?
It's very meditational for me, and I wanted to like tap into a hobby that wasn't technology based. A lot of my art and work are rooted around technology, especially like DJing and making music. So I just wanted an analog visual way to express myself. And it's just helped me think differently, expand my perceptions, and really push some boundaries.
Really cool. Okay. So do you use this in any other aspect of your creative process when you're making music, or?
I would say definitely for like inspo, if I'm feeling stuck, I'll just make some art, do some collaging, draw some sketches, and then the words might come.
Okay. And then you also use yoga as a way of grounding yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So can you tell me like what exactly grounding does? What are the benefits of doing that?
So I know we spoke briefly about like the mind-body connection and really just like syncing those two. The body is our vehicle through how we move through this world and how we're here. And I feel like just with like my air moon, my Mercury is in Gemini, like I'm a very like in my head type person. So yoga helps reconnect me to my body so that I can go out in the world and share myself and not just live in my head rent free.
You know, something interesting about yoga to me is that when we meditate, I always think of it as like a listening to God, and prayer is talking to God, right? So for you, do you ever feel like you have a conversation with a higher entity when you're meditating?
I really like that you said the listening to God and then prayer is talking to God, because I'm really big on like hearing that inner voice, like the intuition. Like intuition has been showing up in my life so much this past year, and meditation is essential to just quieting my mind so that I can hear God. So yeah, I'll be listening like shit when I'm meditating, just my mind being quiet so that I can hear, source and God.
And what do you usually hear?
It'll just be downloads. Like if I'm feeling like really anxious about something, like I'll just get a message like, you need to slow down or you need to go get some ramen. Like it'll just
some ramen.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Just like
it's random, very random.
Yeah, like it'll literally just be like advice, I feel like, from God telling me like how I should move my body or what I should do to like get that energy moving and get it unstuck. Instead of trying to think my way into the solution.
Right.
Yeah.
Being present in the body.
Yeah.
So do you think that there needs to be like a balance between the mind and the body?
Absolutely. I feel like man is mind, but man is also body. And I think a lot of our discontent and anxiousness and depression comes from those things being unbalanced in our mind, being somewhere else when our body is present. So like we always have to return to present, and where our 2 feet are, like we're always exactly where we need to be, even if it doesn't feel like it.
100% agree.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned that energy can get stuck sometimes, right? And so when it is stuck, do you think your understanding of chakras can help you kind of like navigate that too?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely connect like physically moving my body to getting things unstuck. Like for me, a lot of release has come through like hips. A lot of your trauma, ancestral, or what in your lifetime is stored through the hips. So there will be a lot of like yoga postures that will release different emotions for me that I didn't even know was pent up.
Can you demonstrate something?
Yeah. Sure. So one of my favorite hip opening poses is called the pigeon pose. So you'll like bend what either leg is comfortable. I'm bending my right today and then extending my left leg back. And it's just a good stretch through the back of your quad, buttocks area. And it just releases tension in your hips.
And this is good for like the solar plexus?
Yeah, this is good for your solar, sacral, and root, honestly. It activates all of those centers. So I've really been like focusing on a lot of the like lower chakra centers recently. When I first got into meditation, I was really big on opening your third eye and your crown chakra.
That's a popular one.
Yeah, but I found the most transformation like focusing on the root and the sacral and the solar plexus. And from there, everything else has just like kind of naturally opened up. I feel like if you try to start from the top down, that's where a lot of like spiritual psychosis happens. Like you'll open your third eye, but you didn't do the unpacking of your trauma yet. So then all this shit just shows up in your life.
You want to know something interesting about that? I think that the heart is like the middle point, and it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
It's the most important. I think that for your particular sign, as an earth sign, you're lower chakra dominant.
Yeah.
So you connecting to your lower chakra is way more important, as opposed to me, who I'm upper chakra dominant. I should be connecting more to my upper chakras. But the middle point being the heart means that you need to understand how to balance the upper and the lower too, right? And so that heart chakra is like, once you understand how to ground yourself, you have a better understanding of how to connect to your crown, right? And then once you have a better understanding of how to connect to your solar plexus, you can somehow get into your third eye, right? All these things have a way of relating to each other, and they meet up in the heart chakra. Do you think that's
a word?
Okay.
I think that's why I'd be so drawn to my heart chakra sound bowl, because that is the middle point. And I feel like for anyone looking to get into chakra work or opening things, like the heart should be the main focus,
right?
Because that will help guide you to know, where else you should lean into more or work more. So I 1000% agree. Like, I don't want to rate chakras, but I feel like the heart is like number one for real.
Right.
So
I don't think it's a coincidence that earth, if you spell it differently, it spells heart too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's like the biggest secret of like the chakras is that the heart is like the most important part of it.
Agreed.
But in order for you to get there, you got to know how to balance both the lower and the upper.
So knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, balancing the two. But yeah, that heart, that's really going to show if you're balanced or not. Because if your heart ain't right, you might got some work to do.
I mean, look at the world today. It's like people that don't got their heart right, they're like doing all types of wild stuff.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, that's synonymous with whatever's going on in the upper or the lower.
I agree. That's a word.
Yeah.
Philosophical.
Yeah. So you actually have a book over there.
Yeah.
Postures of the Gods and Goddesses. Do you use that for like guidance on your poses?
Yeah. So I'm real big on Kemetic yoga. That's ancient Egyptian yoga when Egypt was black, before Egypt was Egypt. And this has been the most transformational and the most informative for me, especially like as a Black American, very multicultural, but I feel like it's just more relevant for persons of color, especially if you have African ancestry, to practice Kemetic yoga, because that's what our ancestors practiced. And it's really just like a pathway to deal with life. Like our ancestors were dealing with a lot of the same things that we deal with to this day, maybe in different, it showed up differently, but the way that the emotions were expressed were about the same. So I feel like it's just a guidebook to live life in the most harmonious way, and encourage others to look into Kemetic yoga as well.
That's really cool. So you also have dreadlocks.
Yeah.
They actually look really good too right now.
Thank you.
But I recently grown my dreadlocks, and I know
look good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I recently discovered that they have an important connection to our bodies as well.
Yeah.
So could you talk a little bit more about that?
For me, I feel like there are antennas.
Yeah.
I started locking my hair, all of my hair in 2019. And I definitely feel like that has lined up with, to my present today and the path and everything that's happened in life. I thought about locking for a while, and I feel like definitely locking your hair is like a commitment with God. Like, it's a journey. Like you're committed, and like that experience and that growth, it's like planting a seed and watching the flower grow, and that could show up in anything that you do in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's some of your like tips for growing your locks the way you have? Because I know everybody doesn't have that same length.
Yeah. Self-care, like take care of yourself, be gentle on yourself. I find myself like, when life is getting chaotic and I'm not feeling rooted, usually my hair is looking crazy and I'm feeling crazy and it might be too dry or whatever. And like sometimes you just need a good wash. Take that time, do that retwist. Like, I don't know, it's just like a physical reminder of showing up for yourself. Like your hair it's like a plant. And if you neglect it, what other areas in your life are you neglecting as well? So.
Yeah. So you spoke about how your hair can be like a plant. Plants have lives too. And so like if you were to water a plant, it grows, right? I guess my question would be, when you connect to your hair, right, your aura can become purified. And so if your hair is like messy, your aura is messy too.
Yeah.
And so like, what are some of your like methods into like keeping your hair clean or, keeping it away from toxicity, stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Big on that. Big on just cleansing and do an ACV rinse every here and there if you need to, especially because your hair carries so much energy. So you need to make sure that you're cleansing and all of those things. And I've just like self-care as a whole has been showing up for me more as well. Definitely a person who I'll just go until I can't anymore. So I feel like it's just another check-in for me. Like,
Do you think that foods that you eat have a relationship with your hair too?
Oh, 1000%. I used to be vegan. I'm no longer vegan anymore, but I now I do consume meat, but I focus on organic or halal meat. I just listen to my body. Like if I'm in a bad mood, maybe my gut needs to get together. Yeah. I know you offered me some kombucha the last time. I'm big on kombucha. For sure. And just tuning in to like my emotions and what I need to eat to rebalance those emotions because everything is chemistry. So
yeah, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to become vegan and why did you change it?
What inspired me to become vegan? Actually, I had done shrooms for the first time during the pandemic. And I had a moment where I had stepped outside and the plants were communicating with me telepathically.
Yeah, I've heard that experience before.
Yeah, and they were like, eat more living foods, like you're eating dead foods and it's giving you negative karmic experiences and you need to cleanse your body, cleanse your aura, and eat more live foods. And so I even carry that with me now that I'm no longer vegan, just focusing on living foods. And if I am going to eat dead foods, knowing where it comes from, if it's ethically killed, making sure there's not pesticides, because all of those things affect you and your body and your mental health as well.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that because I don't think enough people, specifically within our community, realize how important food is and how much we intake that has a lot of like carcinogens and all kinds of chemicals and things like that.
Yep.
So what are some things that somebody who's interested in becoming a vegan might need to do to prepare for that? Or what are some alternative diets that they could get into?
I'm never too big on extremes, even though I've done a lot of extremes in life. So I would definitely like read those labels, read the ingredients. Like marketing loves to play on our monkey minds. Just because it looks good doesn't mean it's good for you.
Yeah, or just because it tastes good doesn't mean it's good for you. Yeah.
So yeah, just do a little bit of research, educate yourself. There's actually an app. Give me 1 second. There's an app that I use now when I grocery shop. And you can literally just scan the barcodes on any of the goods. It's called Yuka. And you can scan the barcodes on any of the goods at grocery stores and it'll tell you nutritional facts about the product. It'll kind of scale it, rate it, and let's see if I can. Yeah, it'll rate things that you know if it's good for you, carcinogens, all those things. So yeah, just be informed. There's a lot of resources and apps out here that can help you be informed so you don't have to work as hard. Yeah. But that's my biggest recommendation of where to start.
Okay. Also sunlight, right?
Yes.
So like we don't get enough sunlight all the time. And even during the pandemic, I think there was a deficiency in how much sunlight we were getting. Can you tell me like a little bit more about some of the like natural supplements you can use as opposed to like just foods, nature, for example?
Absolutely. Outside of sunlight, especially as we approach the winter season and we're getting less daylight, it's essential that we have our vitamin C, our vitamin B12, our vitamin K. Actually, if you want to get a photo of this book, this also recommends like vitamins and a diet for you as well. So I really enjoy Kemetic yoga because it's not just about the yoga and the postures, but it's more of a lifestyle thing and just being consistent, consuming the right foods. We consume through all of our 5 senses. Yeah. So food is one medium, but what we watch, what we listen to, are all consumption as well. So it just raises that awareness. And I love that.
Fasting, right?
Yeah.
So going on a diet, just like you said, all of our senses have a relationship with what we consume. What are some things that you can fast from to give you a balanced chakras.
Absolutely. So I used to do a born day fast, and I think I might start that up again. But a born day fast is like fasting on the day of the week that you're born, and you just fast for that day until sunset. And it just, certain days of the week have different energies a challenge.
Right.
So that kind of amplifies that energy because you were born that day. But outside of fasting from food, like take those social media breaks if you need to. If you need to set boundaries with people, do that. That is a form of fasting.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like just thinking of other areas outside of food, or maybe things that like you tend to rely on mostly. Like I know I like to smoke weed. If that's maybe not clicking for me right now, take a break. Right. So yeah, just whatever you're doing in excess, kind of shine a light on that and be like, all right, let me fast from this for a period of time and then get back to it.
It's a perfect segue. You spoke about like taking a social media break. So going on a media diet, I think is so important now because we're glued to our phones. And these phones emit frequencies too, like radio frequencies, Wi-Fi,
EMFs, radiation.
Yeah, all that radiation. It definitely takes a toll on our auras and our energy. So like if you can take a break from those things, it's really good. But I also think that our bodies have adapted to it. So I guess, like, what do you think is going to be our relationship with technology moving forward and how it's going to impact our spirituality?
That is such a great question. Yeah. And I'm actually going to be speaking on a panel on November 10th about AI and music.
Okay.
And so this has definitely been a theme that's coming up. But, like, we are electromagnetic beings as well.
Yes, we are.
I think it is important now more than ever to know yourself and know your power, especially if you're going to engage and work with technology, because technology becomes some people's God, and that's not our God. Like, we are ancient technology ourselves.
Right.
So I feel like it is a great tool and a great resource, but nothing is greater than you.
That's a word.
Yeah. So as long as you understand that and use it as a tool and don't let it use you, especially with how our phones listen to us and all these ads and the algorithms and the manipulation, like, don't be manipulated.
Right.
Use it as a tool and disconnect if you feel like you're over consuming.
Yeah, I like that. That was perfect, actually.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to that panel. I don't know if, when is it going to be? Because I might have to.
Sunday, November 10th from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. It is open to the public at the Line Hotel in Adams Morgan.
Okay.
Linktree is in my Instagram bio.
Dope. Yeah. I might have to pull up to that.
It's going to be dope.
Yeah. So, okay. Now going into the media diet and AI, I guess, like, do you think that certain people are going to replace technology with their religion? Or do you think people already have?
I already have.
Yeah?
They don't even know it.
Okay. Could you elaborate on that?
I can't, but I can.
I mean, I don't want to be here for too long, but like, could you like make it short and sweet?
Yeah, short and sweet. Like, all right, like I use ChatGPT for like work and things.
Shout out to ChatGPT.
Shout out. But like our brains are the ultimate computer.
Yes,
like it's just, I really feel like it's the dynamic because we still have our monkey brains, the same brains our ancestors had. I think it's a really like not a cool approach to think that like our ancestors were dumber than us or not as smart as us. If anything, I feel like today people are dumber than our ancestors because they have made technology their God.
Right.
But like our ancestors were the gods of technology.
Right.
And I think we need to tap back into that and realize that like we are the gods, like and as technology is an expression of who we are and our power and how interconnected we are. And if anything, that we should see that as a reflection of us and not like something that's better or bigger than us.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. This in itself is literally just a mirror. And you're looking into it, it's reflecting everything that you like, that you consume, right? When you go onto your algorithm, those algorithms, they're learning about you. And so like, depending on what your algorithm is what you like, it's what you're interested in. And the same thing applies for me. And I think a lot of people don't really have any indication of like what they want to do with this technology. They just consume it, but they don't know how to create on it.
Absolutely. I 1000% agree with that. And that's why I am big on raising your awareness and doing the meditation and then engaging with the technology. Because like you said, like use it or let it use you. And once you have a little bit more awareness, then you can, tweak your algorithm or be more intentional about what you're consuming so that your algorithm can cater to your intention rather than just trying to spoon feed you things for you to consume.
Yeah, that's why they call it a feed.
Absolutely.
It's feeding on your intentions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what's crazy is that the other day my phone had died, plugged my phone into charge, black screen, black mirror, and then the Apple comes up. And I was just like, wow, like how crazy, like we're here.
Yeah.
But really thinking about that, I was grateful that, you know, the symbol of the apple and eating from the apple and the knowledge of good and evil, it's like you have the power to access anything at your fingertips these days.
You really do.
But what are you going to do with that power?
That's where the power is.
That's where the power is. And when I saw that eat an apple, like before, I was like, I would think of technology as this big evil thing, like no. But now I have a more neutral approach because like the universe is very neutral. Good and bad are relative.
Exactly.
So with the apple, it's just like be mindful of what you consume, be mindful of what you put into the world. And I think as long as your intentions are pure and your awareness is there, it won't be an issue. But I think when people go to sleep and, you know, get trapped in their minds and don't tap into their bodies, I think that's when it gets dangerous.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Your birthday just passed and you've been traveling, and I know for me, like traveling is a great like way to just like open my mind up more and deprogram from the things that I just thought were normal and real every day.
Yeah.
How has travel like influenced or brought new perspectives into your life recently?
I like that question. So I've done a lot of traveling in the past few years, and traveling inspires me. In the previous part of our interview, I talked about how my imagination is sparked by a lot of the things that I do. And I think that traveling helps me to expand my horizons, not only physically, but mentally and spiritually. And so like learning about different cultures, understanding how people live in different parts of the world really opens my mind up and allows me to activate my imagination. Recently when I went to Italy, right? I learned about their culture, and I like how they approach luxury. I think that they approach of elegance rather than excess or greed. In America, we tend to like hoard a lot of our luxuries.
Yeah.
And for them, they like, I don't know, they like collaborate on their luxuries and share it and express it in a very artful way. And I'm inspired by that. I think that even for Black people, like we love luxury so much, we like, you know, to look good and feel good in luxurious lives. I think that we should take more time to have more healthy relationship with luxury.
Yeah.
You know, and understanding like, yeah, we are gods, so like let's look good, but let's actually like treat each other like gods instead of like showing each other off and, oh, I'm better than you and I got more money than you, you know, stuff like that. I think
I love that. I feel like travel and technology are like low-key connected because it's like a software update.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, all right, you're used to this program, but you go into this other part of the world and you see how that program is running. And now you're able to bring some of that back into your program, into your world and your algorithm and influence the people around you. And I think that's so cool.
No, for sure. Another cool thing about it is that, I don't know if you know this, but the earth has chakras too, right? So like our relationship with the planet is synonymous with where we live at. Right here, even in Maryland, I'd say like there's a particular energy that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so like going to places like Japan or going to places like Africa, for example, there's a sacred energy that exists in those places. When I was in Japan, right, it was right next to a place called Okinawa. And this place is known to be like a blue zone where a lot of people live longer.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so they live to like they're like 100 years old.
Yeah.
And for me, I personally want to live until like I'm at least 100 years old. But yeah, I think that's an interesting thing too.
I love that. And that's back to saying like we are the ancient technology, like Earth is ancient technology. And just tapping in and interfacing with those different things, I feel like help raise our collective consciousness. And I love that. Like, I'm trying to take a trip to one of the blue zones. I don't think I've been to a blue zone yet.
There's plenty of them too. So it's not just Okinawa. You can go to like different places in Australia.
I've been to Australia before, and the energy there
it's crazy, right?
Might as well been on a different planet for real. I was like, where am I?
Some of my favorite artists come from Australia.
Yeah.
So like Tame Impala's from Australia.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
A band that just performed in my job last night, they're actually from Australia. But yeah, I have like a weird connection with Australia. I studied abroad there in middle school and went like to school for the summer, stayed with the host family. So yeah, very beautiful experience. Highly recommend.
Awesome. Okay, so what are some other places you'd like to travel to?
My bucket list next up is Costa Rica, but I'd also like to visit Japan. I have yet to be on the continent of Africa.
Oh man!
And I need it like ASAP. ASAP. No Rocky.
Which part of it though?
West Africa, because that's where my ancestry is. Okay. But I definitely want to go to like Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, Egypt, South Africa. Like, take me everywhere for real.
Yeah. All of it is beautiful.
Yeah. So once we explore Africa, then we can tap into everywhere else. Yeah, but that's on the list. I've been to Spain. I've been to Australia. I've been to the UK. Toured around the US. I haven't been to South America. I'd like to go to Brazil.
Me too. I haven't been to South America either.
Yeah.
But I want to go.
Yeah. But I feel like travel is very interconnected to my spiritual experiences and all of those things as well. So get outside.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, if you don't have any more questions, I guess we could wrap up here. It was good connecting with you, Trilla. Any last words for the audience?
Last words. Trust yourself. Can't do it alone. And it doesn't have to be perfect for it to be done.
3rd episode of the Nodcast. Thank you for tuning in. We are signing out.